Hello and welcome to the Mechanical Engineering webinar at Knowsley Community College. Firstly, apologies if you're getting a very bad sound here. We're in the middle of a storm. I'm not entirely sure where you're living, but we're getting battered by rain and wind on all sides here at Knowsley, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So firstly, for your attendees, thank you very much for logging in here to join us for this afternoon. We can't see you, we can't hear you, you are muted, but if you'd like to communicate with us, you'll see the chat facility on the right hand side. Please put any questions in there. There's also a Q&A tab which you can use. We'll answer any questions at the end of the presentation. I'm here just as a host. I can briefly describe a little bit about college to you, but then presenting is going to be Treadle. He's one of the tutors here in mechanical engineering at Knowsley, and he's going to describe to you a little bit more about the course. So firstly, different people attending this webinar may be in different stages of the application process. If you applied prior to lockdown, that means that you will hopefully have attended interview already and have your place reserved on a conditional place for a September start with us. There may be people who apply to study with us after lockdown. If that's the case, you will be receiving a phone call, or you may have already had a phone call from one of our tutors to discuss starting with us in September. Crucially this year, because it's been very different for everybody, if you haven't yet applied, applications are still open. And if you would like to apply and you haven't yet applied, please do so via the web pages, and there is an applications tab there. Just complete the form and then we'll get to hear more about you. It is crucial this year more than ever that we have your correct email address and phone number, because that will be the way which we're communicating to you about changes and about your course and about possible start dates. A question which has come up on previous webinars is, how will COVID affect my learning? What about enrolment and so on? As a college, like schools, we're guided very much by what the government tells us is the right thing to do and the regulations in place. So the plans for enrolment are not yet concrete. There may be some form of on-learn application. There may be physically coming into college, but we don't really know. But what we do know is that college will be starting its lessons in September. So the actual learning will be as normal, but we're going to communicate any of these changes to you and what the procedure will be via your email and via your phone number. So if you've changed any of those since you previously applied, please let us know, and I will put my details in the chat facility so you can email me direct, and I'll make sure that we've got the correct details for you. It's been a strange year for everybody, and I can not even begin to imagine what it's like in year 11, having your education cut short and now moving on to your further education for a September start. So there's a whole raft of people here at college who are here to look after you, here to support you. And if you do have any issues, please, again, I'll put my details in, let me know, and we can work sort of into transition with you to make sure that come September, you're ready and able for a good and confident start. And I'd just like to talk briefly about College Pays, which is one of the other ways which college supports all of our students. So there is a free college bus on a number of routes straight into college that can bring you in and take you home at the end of the day. We'll also give you a free bus pass, maybe Mersey Travel, maybe Arriva, which you can use term time to get into college again to make sure you arrive on time and get you home at the end of the day. Knowsley College offers free breakfast for its students as long as they are here in good time for their lesson start. So essentially what that means is if your lesson starts at 9 o'clock, we'd expect you to be in college, ready and able for learning by about 10 to 9. By that way you can access a free breakfast for your college. We also have the suite of Microsoft Windows, which each student has access to, as well as a number of other discounts available. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is pass you over to Jim Treadle. He's the mechanical engineering tutor, and he is going to tell you a little bit more about your course. Okay, Jim.
Sorry.
Okay, that was Jim who you just saw. I believe he's just going to share his screen, ready to start his presentation now. Won't be a moment.
Hello. Is that me now? Okay. My name's Jim Channing, Engineering Knowsley Community College. Obviously, on this speaking today is interested in coming on to engineering. We have different courses. We have different courses at the college, but depending on your grades that you get from school, that will determine what course you go on. So, how can just work our way through. Now, if you want to go on to a level 1 course, you need the grade 3 or below GCSE in Maths and English. Level 2, if you want a level 2 or level 3, you need grade 4 and above with GCSE in Maths and English. But also, we can have special consideration. If you come to the college, you've already done engineering, we'd obviously take that into consideration and we could put you on level 2 if you haven't got the grades that you need. Okay. Now, most of the courses we do, they're practical. I came into engineering because I like doing things practically. I wasn't great in school academically, but when I worked with my hands, I was good at it and I enjoyed it. So that was the first thing I done. When I left school, I went to college and I've done a year doing engineering, very similar to what you'd be doing when you come here. So on this little slide here, it's saying level 1 mechanical engineering, fabrication and welding. It's a combined course. 70% of it's practical, 30% theory. This enables you to improve your maths and English grades by studying a vocational course. Within the course will be bench fitting, turning, sheet metal work, arc and MIG welding. These are all practical skills that you need in the world of work. Now, if you're an engineering company, you need to have young people coming to you as apprentices who've got some skills already, and you'll be developing them skills with us. All the tutors in this college are tradesmen. We've all worked in industry. I worked in industry for 26 years. Other tutors similar again. Other younger teachers who've done about 10 or 12 years in industry. But we teach you the right way. If you didn't teach you the right way, I wouldn't stay there. Okay, the fabrication welding course, that's also a level 2 qualification. That's 60% practical. And in sheet metal work and MIG welding, 40% of that course is theory. It's a knowledge-based exam, and you report on the activities that you've actually done. So when you make something, you have to write about how you did it. And the more detail you go into, the better that your grade is. Now, there's different types of employment you can get. If you fabricate welder, you be a sheet metal worker, a fabricator welder. Now, sometimes these words don't mean much, but if you imagine when you go in the ship and you see all that stainless steel, that's been made by a sheet metal worker in the industry. When you go over the bridge, I never see any big steel work, that's been done by a fabricator welder. And there's a lot of that kind of work in this area, and we do tend to get more jobs doing fabricating welding than anything else. Now, the mechanical engineering level 2, which is the standalone, again, you need the good grades, and that's 60% practical, 40% theory. But on that, you'll be turning, universal milling, sometimes fitting as well. And the employment for that would be a precision engineer. That's why I am. That's what I've been when I left school. I got an apprenticeship as a precision engineer, and I've done it for 26 years. So besides that precision engineering, I became a toolmaker. I also done some CNC setting and operating. There's loads and loads of different ways that you can go as an engineer. But I enjoy the mechanical side of it, all because I'm fussy or. Now, we also do level 3 engineering, but that's at St. Helens College. Now, if anybody who's interested in that, want to stay behind and give you details, you can. That is more academic, okay? There'll be less practical work in that. But again, there will be some practical work. But that's more aimed towards maybe doing a degree, going on to university, something like that. Now, we talk about transferable skills. You know, I'm an engineer, I've just got a shed. So I've got the skills in the hands to go and be able to do that. Okay, but within your first year when you're with us, you learn health and safety, manual handling, how to work with hot metal, to work safe with hot metal. When you're on ventilators, rotating parts, it can be quite dangerous. Okay, everything you do is off a specification sheet. You measure accurately, you communicate, and teamwork and skills, and you understand the importance of attendance and punctuality. I can't stress enough that everywhere I ever worked, I was never off and I was never late. And then when I left, he said, you can always come back. So I can't stress enough the importance of that. When you come to this college, you know, I say you're aiming for 100%. The courses are 2.5 days a week. So for you to achieve that, that's like 50% attendance in school. So it should be quite easy for you to do that with me. Okay. So I think I've got one more slide. Now, if you want to get your phones out and take a photo of that, there's a couple of videos you can watch. If you just go on YouTube and put them in, because sometimes when you come to do engineering and you've never done it before, you're unsure. Because engineering is behind closed doors, isn't it? It's not like you're a plumber or an electrician, you see them in the house. But when you start engineering, a lot of it's out the way. No one knows exactly what you do. So you need to find it, okay? So if you look at our 12 for beginners, it's about a 15-20 minute video. And the Central 810 one from local university, they actually show you the same grades as we've got in the college. So that's a good one for you to watch as well. Okay. Now, I know that's been a bit quick, but just think about any questions that you might have. I'm just going to talk to you about the kind of things you might make now, okay? So, strain your eyes a little bit and you're going to see my face now. You might get a flight. Me. Okay. Can you see me? Yeah. Okay. So I'm in the workshop now, an engineering workshop. If I just stand to the side, I just so that you might see it. It's a nice, big, bright workshop. It's absolutely brilliant. And what you'll find is you'll spend 70% of your time in this college, in this room, with different tutors. Now, before when I said about the specification sheets, basically your drawing comes at you like this. That's the drawing that we give you. And you've got to manufacture this component. Okay, now a lot of these are just practice jobs just to get you started. Okay, that's just a plate. This job here is called a bevel gauge. Students make that completely by hand, again to a specification sheet. This job here is a little hammer. That's completely being made on a sensor lathe by students on level 2. That's made on a sensor lathe. This is called a V block. You can see it clearly. That's made on something called a milling machine. But again, I found it interesting when I was your age to do all this kind of stuff, and hopefully you will as well. When you come here, I'm 100% certain that you'll enjoy making stuff. This job's made on a sensor lathe. That's a little bottle jack. Okay. And the amount of skills you develop on that, because you've got to learn how to measure accurately, read your drawing, an internal thread, an external thread. So what a thread is, don't you? It's basically a bolt. And there it is, and that goes in there. That's your internal thread. It's a shame you can't come in and see all this stuff. So these are like, so if you've got your grades to come on a level 2, then videos should help you make your decision on which one you do. Fabrication and welding or mechanical engineering. Okay? If you don't get the grades to get on a level 2, you do the level 1. And then you will do fabrication and welding and mechanical. And then after 12 months, then you'll make an educated decision. You won't be guessing because you will have done mechanical engineering and you will have done some welding as well. Now, you know, we have students come here and get apprenticeships. We get students who don't, get students who just move on to other things. We get students who stay on and do a degree. Now, I've got this job here to show you. I always show this job. This is a student who came to us, and he come to us about 6 years ago. And he said, I want to work in Formula 1. And I thought, that's like a pipe dream. That's like saying you want to be a Premier League footballer. So he came to us, he got an apprenticeship, passed his apprenticeship, and he still wanted to work in Formula 1. So we entered him to a competition. He went for the competition, and he didn't win it, but he made this. It's just a barbecue, a big barbecue. He made all that. And while he was there's a university, and he went home, he spoke to the fellow, and he said, I'd like to go to university, I'd like to work in Formula One. He said, well, what you need to do is do a level 3. This is after his apprenticeship. So he went away, and he'd come back to us, he said, I want to do my level 3. He'd done his level 3, like a technical certificate, like a BTEC level 3. But he's in university now studying engineering materials. So what I'm trying to say to you is that although you've come here to do a vocational training, that's not the end of it. You know, Nathan who's standing with me now, he came here as a student. He's a teacher in this college now, so don't think that that's you forever. In engineering and in education, you can move on and progress. And that's what that lad done. So he's studying now, and who knows where he's going to end up. I think I've said everything. I'd wish you were here with me if I'd tell you some jokes, but I'm not going to online. They're not always funny. If you got any questions, just come back to Linda with them. And again, if anyone wants to do the level 3 in St. Helens, make sure that you put that question in. Linda will speak to you at the end. Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Jim. That was really interesting, and I think it was made more interesting by the fact that you're in the workshop and was able to show off some of the items which students have made and the facilities which speak for themselves. Does anybody at this stage have any questions either for Jim and myself? And please don't be shy here, because if you're thinking about a particular question, no doubt somebody else is thinking of the same question as well. Just to talk whilst people are thinking. Again, I cannot overstress the need for us to make sure that we have your correct email and phone number, because that's the way that we're communicating what enrolment will look like, and any other additional information which we're going to need for the college start in September. Okay, any questions, anybody? Okay, none coming through. Okay, no worries at all. I have put already my email address on there if you think of anything afterwards. And if you want to think of anything for Jim, I'll make sure that Jim gets your query and is able to reply to you if you put your contact details on there. Okay, so all it is for me to say thanks so much for logging in today for today's webinar. We enjoyed knowing that you're there and excited about joining us in September. And we look forward to meeting you in the flesh sometime soon. Okay, thanks very much, everybody. Bye-bye.